Hey, everyone. Welcome to our birthday anniversary party. I ain't gonna blow this thing because we not doing that right now because the kids been blowing them all day. And I realized I was like, oh, I have a little sensory issue today with these things. But welcome to the next 30 minutes or so of our birthday anniversary party for the KWI Collective. I still have another cupcake and I am ready to just dig into this experience. So I know this was impromptu. So if you are watching the replay, please hashtag replay and let me know. Or do not do that. I have a new hashtag that I want you guys to use. Instead of hashtagging replay, I want you to hashtag tapped in and let me know that you're tapped into what we have going on here. So how did this come about? The other day I posted, don't ghost your gifts online, right? And that really was for me. It was something that I wrote in my journal maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And then I saw it again and it reignited that idea of don't ghost your gift. I have always loved the space of marketing. It's just been something that's always been innate. I've been innate in. And then I went and received formal training in. And however, I pushed that gift down because one, I didn't see a lot of females that looked like me in that space at the time. And when I did try to walk into that space, there were a lot of men that were, they weren't very inclusive. And I did not have the personality at the time. I was not mature enough to really be able to actually walk past and through that. So I went back to what was easy to me, which was building brands and helping people build out their brand strategies, education and marketing, branding, book publishing, book writing, all the things that came very easy to me, I did. And I made a great income and it was sustainable. However, there comes a point in the space of you growing where I am very strong in my faith. So there came a point in the space of me growing where God just made it so that nothing was working out. Clients were getting on my nerves. Things were just not moving like they are supposed to move for me. And as easy, let's say that, as easy as they were supposed to. And I feel like when it's a lot of um when there's a lot of rejection or a lot of stumbling blocks to a situation, I always pull back to see if God is in it. And I don't care what it is in my life, that's what I do. And then I try to act immediately and make the immediate necessary shifts in my life and in my business. But in this case, I did not because it was easy for me. I was very good at it. I was public speaking, making money around the topics. So I didn't see any formal reason to quit. You know what I'm saying? Other than you just not operating in purpose, boo. You're not operating in purpose, and this is not what you're supposed to be doing in this season. In one season you were, and it was fine, but in this season it has changed. And for me, I just really was afraid to make that shift. Fear of what other people would think, all these things. In the interim, I knew that I wanted to really begin to get back into media. I took TV productions and directing in high school and in college, and I love this space. But I, again, set it down for whatever reason. However, I decided that I wanted to get back into it. An opportunity came for me to pretty much become an apprentice under a friend of mine who was a publicist for several years in her transition. And that's how I learned PR. That's how I learned the game of PR. So I just started doing it for myself on a low scale, nothing real big. And as I got to that space where work just became something that I wasn't as interested in doing anymore. I just didn't feel the love. I didn't feel the joy in doing it. I still showed up for my clients. They didn't see it, but I knew. I would get off those calls and be drained. I would get off those calls and just not be interested at all. And it was just a hard look for me. And so what I ended up doing was just stepping back. I made sure that the finances were in a space where I could step back. I told everybody I am no longer doing one-on-one coaching anymore. And I started doing like little group experiences and things like that, just in my knowledge base to keep a little income flowing in while I decided what I was going to do. But it really wasn't me. What I realized is that when you understand your purpose and it's time to operate in purpose, it's not even about you. It's about God. It's about who He has called you to be and what He has called you to do and who He has called you to serve. And so, as I was in the midst of trying to figure this out, I had two amazing men. I put their logos on the birthday flyer because they really are the ones that started this. And they called me and they were like, hey, we would like for you. One wanted me to look into marketing for their brand. The other one wanted me to do PR for one of their clients. And so it was crazy that they both reached out to me at the same time for the two things that I was running from. For the two things that I was running from, right? And so I said, okay, let's do it. And it turned out very well. I learned a lot in the first 2 years about this industry, about pricing, about the do's and don'ts, about where to show up, where not to show up, how to show up. I went, the media training. I took some classes. I end up, it was amazing because there were several publicists who had been doing very well in the industry already for years that connected with me. They saw what I was doing and connected with me and wanted to mentor me. And that was just such a blessing to have people see your worth in a space where you didn't even know if what you were supposed to be doing in that space, right? And I followed and taught under them for several years. And really just, I put my all into learning. I put my all into learning the aspects of the brand, back all the way to history stuff and marketing, everything. And then I decided, okay, the one thing I needed to do in this space was niche. Because there's so many aspects of marketing that you can do. There's so many aspects of branding that you can do. There's so many aspects of PR, right? I am not a brand specialist. So what I decided that I don't want to do that part. Okay. So I connected with some amazing brand strategists who work with my clients. Okay. Then I realized that there are so many aspects of PR that you could do. I had to really hone in and see what type of publicist, what industry did I want to focus on. And I landed on two. I'm still kind of in the space. However, there are two that I'm very passionate about that hopefully I'll be releasing in the next couple of weeks or so. And then in the space of marketing, I realized that marketing is about building relationships. So I am what you would call a relationship marketer. My job is not only to help you build strong campaigns, fun campaigns, visible campaigns, campaigns that hit. My job is also to look at the relationship building post your campaign being launched. How is the relationship being built? What I realized in this space, though, and that I love about operating in your purpose, is that building relationships that's something that has always been important to me, and something that I may not have always done properly, right? In life and in business. I know that when you understand yourself, like I'm very chill. And people are like, yo, I didn't even know you were that funny. Like there are times, I'm very silly. But what I realized is that I am a true mix of my mother and my father. My biological father is absolutely nuts. Okay. He crazy, y'all. He is so silly. And I mean, he play all the time. But my mom, she is a little more reserved, right? So I really have a equal mix of both of them. And so when I'm in a space where I am new, I'm more reserved than anything until I feel comfortable. But on the flip side of that, I also understand my call, my gift, and my anointing. I do have a very strong prophetic anointing. I understand that I was ordained as a prophet years ago. I also know that this gift operates very strong in what I do for a living. So, no, I am not preaching and teaching. However, I am using my gift in the space of purpose. Okay. And so after realizing all of these things, I started. Now, I'm a business person. So I'm like, all right, let's look at the business side of this. How is this really going to work? What is what are the income streams? What does that look like? What are the financial lines? How do I really map this out to really be successful? And so anytime I start a brand, I spend the first 2 years in research. If you have followed me for any length of time, I've always said that my third year is a year that I get quiet, and I slow down to review the research because I have to analyze the research that's been going on for the past 2 years. So we slow down a little bit just to analyze so that we can properly prepare and determine, all right, here's what we like to do. Here's what we don't like to do. Here's what we found that we're good at. We found like we are not good at this. Here's what we found out this. Here's what we found out that. Here are the pricing points. Here's, what does my personal life look like? What do I really want to be doing? And how much time do I want to be spending on certain things? And so we spent year 3 really mapping that out. In the midst of all the hurricanes that happened year 3, which was last year, it was really it gave us a time to kind of get quiet, but it also was a time to really for us to dig in to figure out our next. And then here we are. Our fiscal year starts on April 1st, which is second quarter, which is also the day that our business was officially registered. I started the brand April 1st. I didn't register it for 2 years. And I'm going to tell you why. A lot of people, here's the thing. People who have looked me up and been like, y'all following somebody who ain't even registered online. Let me be very clear. And I'm going to go ahead and eat this up and get y'all and let y'all so y'all can take it, eat it, and run with it. I never, ever do an LLC for write-off when I'm in the back end of building a brand. And the reason why is because I changed my mind too much. Okay. I could have been like, you know what? I don't even want to do this. So I've talked to my attorney. We have some stipulations. I know what I'm doing for the way that it works for me. You do what works for you. I'll do what works for me. So once we figured out, all right, this is something that I'm going to do. We are gun-ho in this. This is purpose. I did take some time and fast and pray and ask God if this is where he would like me to be. We did that. We launched the brand. And in the first 2 years, the first year, we did amazing. The second year, we tripled our income the second year. Okay. And the third year, just about the same, although I slowed down. And so going into this fourth year, I'm really just looking at, are we in purpose? Are we continuously operating in purpose? And are we doing what we are supposed to do? Are we in the space of where we're supposed to be? And are we serving the people we are supposed to serve? And I love it. I love what I'm called to do. I love helping people build brand authority through the areas of marketing, public relations, media, and funding. And as you see over the next couple of years and weeks, you'll see some of the things that we have in store under all of those umbrellas. Here's what I realized that, and I said this one day in a training, and I said, oh, that's our new tagline. So our tagline is, it doesn't make sense to make you visible if your brand isn't ready for the visibility. Everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to go viral. Everybody wants all of those things. But if your brand isn't ready for the visibility that you desire, you can kill your brand because you are not ready in the back end and in the front end. And so I realized that there is so much more to visibility than getting you on TV, than getting you a seat at on that talk show. There's media training that goes into that. There's brand training that goes into that. Making sure that your business is structured properly, the website, all of those things. There's so many things that go into being able to really have a successful appearance somewhere or a successful feature. But here's what I will say. In the end, I got to go and see what the actual number is. In the space of working, I realized that, hey, Keandra, you're kind of good at this. This kind of works. You can do a little something. And one of my mentors said, I really want you to realize, I'm trying to find the number. I really want you to realize that you've been able to successfully pitch more opportunities for people. And I really didn't do a lot of that much pitching that last year. Um, we did for one client, but I was real quiet kind of last year. Um, but in that space, we've been able to secure 48 plus, and there are actually more. I just have to go back and see. I would say we're probably more close to 55, 60 features for clients to raise their visibility. And that's amazing for us to be able to do that at that level. And now, of course, I'm a goals person. I was like, all right, so what's our next goal? And what does that look like? And that's what we're working on now. That's what we're focusing on now. What the next looks like for us in all spaces, and really being able to show up for our members in our membership group, being able to show up for our retainer clients, and show up for you here online effectively. So here's what I'll say. If you are not in our private Facebook group, it's called the Backstage Pass group. Please make sure you're in that group, because that's where I'll do most of my teaching. When I come on here live, I may do some motivation for you here on the regular page. But if you want the actual true teaching, it's going to be a part of my private group. If you want another level, so it's a little teaching in there. It's levels to this thing, right? So you have that teaching in that private group, but then if you want that next level of training and resources, then you'll join our membership group. And if you want us to really do the work for you and really work hand in hand alongside you, then you become a retainer client. It's just that simple. I'm excited about where we're going and what we're doing. There is still some work to be done. There's still some growth. My team has been amazing. I am so proud of the team that we have. We are small but mighty, and we are growing. But what I will say is that our goal always is to really make sure that not only is your brand visible, but your brand is clear, and that you understand your brand, and that the clarity in your brand allows you to stand boldly and show up for yourself and your brand, no matter who, what, when, where, or why. And what we found is that most times that's the issue. Or you have the ones that are very bold with no structure. They out there getting it, but there's no structure around the visibility that they're growing. And so there's levels to this. And then we want to make sure that you have everything that you need, speaking wise, coaching wise, whatever it is that your brand is doing. We want to make sure that it's in alignment and ready for the visibility. But our goal is also storytelling. Our goal is to really help to make sure that the story behind your brand and your product is out there sufficiently, and to help in crisis moments, to be able to be that person. Sometimes, and what we found, there's been a couple occasions where just this past week or so, we had a situation where a client was on an interview, and we sent a list of do not ask questions, okay? And they asked all the do not ask questions. So somebody has to be the person that says, we know, somebody has to be the, and my staff doesn't say the bad guy, but somebody has to be the one that actually does it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody has to be the one that does what, let me do this. Okay. Somebody has to be the one that showcases or supports our brand. Hey, thank you. Someone has to be the one that says, no, you are not going to do this for our clients. No, we asked you not to say this. And our clients are the ones that's supposed to sit back, be pretty, and share their level of expertise. That's it. My job is to make sure that they feel safe, that they're secure, and that they are ready for the experience. And there's so many people, you would be surprised of how many people, because let me be very clear. When you get it, it's not very hard to put yourself and get on the news locally or on a local TV show. It's not that hard, right? it's the preparation behind it. It's the preparation after it. And it is your level of what's the best way to say it? Your readiness, your level of readiness, to be honest. So I've had several people call me and say, hey, I did this experience and it was not good. When I look at it, it wasn't that it was, when I looked at the features, it wasn't that they were bad features, but there are certain things that without having someone alongside to hold your hand along the process, you just wouldn't have known. And you wouldn't have known to do, and you wouldn't have known to expect. And that's what we're here for. So as I look at all of this, I'm just excited to be here for 4 years. I'm excited to have been able to take my knowledge and what I know and be able to help brands with their visibility, with their growth, with the understanding, and even with how it looks on the back end of their brand. Most people know, if you follow me in any way, shape, or form, you know that I have been a back end strategist, email marketing strategist, all of that for years. So I am very big on what the relationship is after the feature, just as much as big as I am on the feature itself. And so those are the things that we're working on. There's so many aspects of marketing, PR, media, and now funding. Now, let me give you a little quick story about the funding. Here's the way funding came. Somebody asked me the other day, like, Keandra, I know you pre-plan stuff. And it's really not me pre-planning. It's me asking God, what am I supposed to do? There were several people that came to me that wanted to work with us and could not afford it. And I definitely understood that because they're new businesses, right? So I was like, hey, I want to create a couple opportunities to be able to help them. So that's where our membership group came in, to where it's $39.99 a month. And we help you, we teach you how to pitch yourself, right? And all other resources, a whole bunch of stuff mixed in that. But then on the flip side of that, it was like, hey, we have an opportunity for funding if you want to try to get funding to work with us, and people were not getting approved. So I then realized that it is not just a financial problem. It is a financial strategy problem. It is a funding problem. It is a credit problem. And so I started to dig and peel and ask questions. And we realized that it is important for us to help people understand how to position themselves with their personal credit and business credit so that they can move. We talk about scaling all the time. Everybody says it's time to scale. Most times, scaling involves putting some money where your mouth is to do the next thing. And that's where most businesses who are not financially structured right and don't have the financial backing fall short, because they do not have the finances to move forward. And so for me, that has become a problem, especially because there's so much information and there's opportunity out there. And so we found a company to work with to help with that, with helping build the business credit. And while we're building your business credit, we're building your personal credit, and we can get you a guaranteed up to $50K in business credit. I mean, these things are, it's accessible. It's accessible. The one thing that you have to do is put your pride aside and get to the money. That's really what it's about. When I started really working with people, I was like, listen, I don't need to know all your numbers. I don't need to do all that. I just want to know where you want to be so we can get you where you need to be. That's it. Because at the end of the day, if you want to grow, you got to make the necessary changes. You have to make the things you have to do. You got to suck up your pride and you got to ask for help. And that's what I did. I was like, look here, I need some help. Help me. Help me. And then when I did that, opportunities just started coming. I'm not going to even lie to you guys. I have had an amazing opportunity to work with an organization that teaches marketing as one of their instructors. And I do one-on-one coaching with those students as well. Mind you, I no longer do one-on-one coaching in my brand anymore because it's just not something that the structure of our brand accommodates, because we're a consulting firm and not a coaching firm. However, by being over here with these students and this opportunity to really talk marketing pretty much every day, all day with the students, it has ignited the passion that I have for marketing again, even with my current clients. It fills that gap that was missing. I love the one-on-one coaching experience. I just got burnt out. And if you listen to the first part of the live, you'll hear that. And so as we wrap up, I said I will only be on here about 20 to 30 minutes, and we're at about 25 minutes. As we wrap up, at the end of the day, it is about really looking at where you want to be, what that looks like financially, time-wise, what sacrifices you have to make, and who you need to connect with. This is a season to put the pride aside and get to the bag. I am so serious. With the way of the world and the way the political climate is, there was as I say that I pray and I have a strong prophetic anointing, and God gave me a word, and I posted it in the group. I was like, listen, this is the word that the Lord gave me. And what he said was, if our government is favoring the wealthy, become the wealthy. Simple. So what does that look like for you? Is it working on your personal credit? Is it setting yourself up for funding? Do you need to get a brick and mortar space? Do you need to restructure your brand? Do you need more visibility? Do you need to restructure what your media looks like around your brand? What does that look like for you to get to that next level? And don't be afraid to tap into it. Let me be very clear that I made a call today for my next level. I was like, I'm not playing. Okay. I know where I want to go. I know who I need to connect with. And I made that call and scheduled that appointment. And then the appointment was actually scheduled for next Thursday. And the assistant called me back and said, he wants to talk to you today. Oh, he want to talk to me today? Bet. Let's get on the phone today. And so that opportunity is being secured for me, because I am not afraid to walk in purpose. If this is what God has called you to do, then do it. It's been 4 years and we're in our 4th year now. And I cannot wait to see what God does. So what I will say is, for all of our clients who have connected with us, whether it's through a class, whether it's through being a retainer client, whether it's through having me come speak to your community, I thank you. I thank you for helping me build this brand. I thank you for helping me position and even decide what we want to do and who we want to be and what services we want to. You guys don't realize you were a part of the beta process. We're figuring it out, but I know that we're good at what we do. It was just really figuring out what do we want to do. And that's where we've been. And so I thank you. And for those who come to our annual event, we launched Pour in this time, which is the live worship experience for entrepreneurs. I thank you for coming the first Friday of every year to lay out your plans before the Lord for the year with us. And we've done that the last 2 years. I cannot wait to see what 2026 brings us. But what I will say as we close out is it's time. It's time. And stop ghosting your gift. Show up and show out, y'all. I'll talk to you soon.